This is Super Yacht News with Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. All right, so we'll go straight on to the first story. Motor Yacht Nord has been spotted again in the Maldives. So you know the story of Nord. She is owned by Alexei Mordozhov, who is sanctioned by pretty much every Western country, including the US, the UK, the EU, and his boat fled to Vladivostok at the beginning of the war in Ukraine, and then later on left there and went to Hong Kong, and then disappeared in the Indian Ocean by turning off the AIS, and we later tracked her to the Maldives. And since then she's been between the Maldives and the Seychelles. Now in the last video we said that she was spotted in the Seychelles. Since then she has returned to the Maldives, it would seem. We've had multiple sightings of her by subscribers, fantastic subscribers who took photographs and videos and sent them to us here, as you can see on screen right now. Both of these sightings were in or around Malé, which is the main island, and one of the photographs was taken near the airport, Valana International Airport, which is on the island of Malé. Okay, so we'll move on to the next story, and this is about the smallest boat to ever cross the Atlantic, or the attempt for the smallest boat to ever cross the Atlantic, and it ended in disaster. Now, the man, Andrew Bedwell, had purchased this vessel a few years ago, and he spent the last 3 years preparing for this trip. The vessel's measurements are 3 feet 3 inches, which is less than 1 meter. Now, he was going to sail this from Newfoundland in Canada to the UK, and it was going to take him over 3 months, 90 plus days to do this trip. So we covered this on the channel, and then recently he set off from the harbour in Newfoundland, but he didn't make it far out of the harbour before the vessel started to take on water, and he had to return. Now, he managed to make it back, he's fine, but the vessel itself, it filled with so much water that when they tried to lift the vessel out of the water, it just broke to pieces and it fell apart. So it is being completely destroyed. Now, it kind of sounds a bit humorous that he was planning on making it, across the Atlantic, and he didn't even make it as far as the harbour wall, it seems. Unfortunately, very upsetting for the man himself. He posted a very tear-filled video on social media saying what had happened. He'd had a lot of people sponsor him and stuff like that, so he was probably upset from that point of view more than anything else. But yeah, very, very sad that the vessel has been destroyed. I can't imagine sailing something so small anywhere. Never. I wouldn't want to go across Lake Windermere, never mind go across the Atlantic. Just out of interest, the current record for the smallest vessel ever to cross the Atlantic is held by Hugo Whelan from the US, and he did it in 1993. It took him 105 days, and the vessel is 1.62 meters long, which is 5 feet and 4 inches. Incredible. Anyway, hopefully he'll make another attempt in the future. As long as he's safe, that's the main thing, eh? All right, so we'll move on. Now, RV Petrel, you'll all remember RV Petrel, research vessel RV. This is the vessel that was originally, it was formerly owned by the late Paul Allen, and he used it to go searching for the wrecks from World War II, etc. They found aircraft carriers and destroyers that had been sunk, including the HMS Victory. Retrieved the bell from HMS Victory on this vessel. After his passing, the vessel was put up for sale, and it was purchased by the US Navy. I think that was in 2021. Now, the vessel was in Scotland for a yard period where it went into refit, and the vessel toppled over in the dry dock in Leith in Scotland. Now, we've done a couple of videos. We went up there and we videoed the vessel in the dry dock. I'll put links in the corner so you can go and check those out if you haven't already seen them. Now, the vessel was eventually righted in the dry dock. We don't know exactly how they did it. The last video we showed the preparations in place for that righting, and the vessel was righted. Now, we got some photographs from some subscribers after the vessel had been righted, and you could see giant holes in the superstructure and in the hull of the vessel, when it had landed on the side of that dry dock there. Now, the reason why we brought it up is because we got contacted by another subscriber who is the captain of a vessel who's out at sea, and he saw the vessel being towed in the Atlantic. And the information is that it was in the southern North Sea. There's a photograph here. It's very grainy from a long distance, but you can clearly see that is the RV Petrel. It's being towed across the Atlantic to the US. And the vessel that is towing it is called the Atlantic Salvor. I'll put it on screen so you can see some of the details here. Our subscriber here who sent the information also sent a screen grab from his Ectus showing the details of that vessel. Now the vessel's heading to Tampa Bay in Florida. So it's currently less than halfway across. It's going to be a very slow process because that is a deep sea tug towing a damaged vessel. I would imagine they must have made some temporary repairs to the side of that vessel before towing it anywhere. But anyway, if you live in Tampa Bay, stand by for updates on the channel, because when it arrives in Tampa, hopefully some of you guys will be out there to take some photos or videos of it to share with us. So the vessel is on the way to Tampa, so it seems like the US Navy, who had actually gone to Scotland to carry out their own investigation, seems like they decided the best thing was to take it back to the US. But we will give updates as soon as we have them. All right, so we'll move on to our main story now. And this is about the secret launch of a new yacht hull. Now, when a yacht is launched, there's usually a bit of ado. You know, the company that's launching the vessel will usually make a bit of a fuss about this launch, like with Project Enzo. And what they'll do is they'll invite the owner will come out, and he will maybe even go on board to go down the ramp as they launch that vessel. Now, not all vessels are launched that way, but there's usually a bit of a fanfare made when a vessel is launched like that. However, there is one vessel that has no fanfare made about it at all. There's no mention of it anywhere, not on Boat International, Superyacht Times, any of those companies have made no mention of this at all. But this vessel is called Project Signature. The yacht is being built by Amel's shipyard, or Amel's Yachts from the Netherlands. However, the hull was constructed in Romania in the Damen shipyard. Now, Damen Yachts, you've probably heard of them. Usually they build support vessels like the motor yacht Abiona, which was delivered to Jeff Bezos recently. But they have been building in that shipyard this new vessel. Project Signature is, according to Boat International, a 120 meter or 393 foot build that was announced back in, I think it was 2021, this was announced. And the vessel has been towed, from what we understand, the vessel was towed from Galati in Romania, and it's going to Turkey, to Damen's other facility there for outfitting. Now, it would normally go to the Netherlands to be outfitted there, but there is a law in the Netherlands currently that would prevent that vessel from being delivered, because from what we understand from a confidential source, it's a Russian buyer, and the vessel will be delivered to him once completed, clearly. And if it went to the Netherlands, because of this law, even though that person might not be sanctioned, they are blocking any vessels from being delivered until those sanctions can be lifted, or that law can be lifted, most likely at the end of the war in Ukraine. So the vessel's going to Turkey to be outfitted there. Now, the yacht was originally being managed by Imperial Yachts, as can be seen from this article on the Boat International website, where it says, according to Imperial Yachts, which is acting as the owner's representative and build supervisor. Now, Imperial Yachts was sanctioned last year in June by the US government, and after that, it appears that the yacht's project moved to being managed by a company called Decide Maritime. Now, that company was formed last year by the former senior project manager at Imperial Yachts after Imperial was sanctioned. The logo of Project Signature can be seen on the website of the Decide Maritime, which seems to suggest they are managing, or at least involved in the yacht. Now, we contacted Amel's shipyard about this vessel, asked them for a statement, why we've not heard anything about it, why the secrecy. We have not received any reply from Amels. We also contacted D-Side Maritime for statements, but they did not respond to our emails either. Now, we contacted Imperial Yachts as well and asked them if they were still involved in that project because their website's been offline since last June, since they were sanctioned by the US. Now, as often happens when we contact Imperial, we get threats from lawyers in return. But one line in the email did say, for the avoidance of any doubt, Imperial is not currently managing or involved with project signature. The delivery date of that vessel is believed to be 2025. At least it was in the original article from the Boat International website. But yeah, very secret. No even mention of the launch. If you are in Romania or if you're in that area and you have any photos or videos of that vessel, please be sure to get in touch. We'd love to see that. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Be sure to check out our new channel. It is called Super Yacht News. It is basically all the goodness of these videos here, but they're split up into bite-sized chunks, so each story is individually posted on that channel. We also do occasionally some stuff that is only posted on the Super Yacht News channel, so be sure to check it out and subscribe. If you type at superyacht-news into YouTube, you will find it. There's also a link in the description. And be sure to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/esysman. You'll find behind the scenes videos, including the full tender ride around the marina at the Monaco GP. You'll get to see other exclusive videos not published on YouTube, like the Patreon chat series and the Atlantic vlog series. You'll get early access to features advert free. You'll get to ask questions for the Patreon only Q&A. And we've just published the latest Q&A, which is Q&A 2 a day or so ago. All right, guys, if you've got any information about any of the stories or any other stories, please be sure to get in touch in the normal fashion. You can get us on the About page of YouTube. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, on Twitter. You can also get us on Threema. Be sure to like this video, very important for the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye. Vivaldi asks, this is a question more related to bigger yachts, 100 meters or bigger. How is security handled on board? Has everyone access to the owner's area? Are there different security zones? It depends on the boat. I worked on boats where the owner's cabin had a